Hi folks, it's Stephen here from Engaged People. You're very welcome to today's webcast. My guests today are Gerry Edwards, who's head of personal lines in Glennon's, and Matt Nicholson, who's director of personal lines. Guys, you're both very welcome today.
Thanks for having me.
Just wanted to start personally and obviously ask how the last few months went for both of you. So Gerry, if you want to just go through, how you found the last couple of months around COVID and the changes yourself.
Yeah, I think I'm one of the people, I suppose, for whom the remote working, I found a positive experience personally. I suppose I'm lucky where I live, good amenities nearby, close to the beach, and the kids, I think, have enjoyed having me around a little bit more. Obviously, the restrictions in movement and the concern about keeping healthy and doing all the right things have been there, but otherwise, no, it's been a pretty positive experience on a personal level for me. Yeah.
Very good, very good. And Matt, yourself, how have you found it?
Yeah, I'd probably echo what Gerry says, really. I think probably what I've enjoyed most is probably spending a bit more time with the family than I normally would, and maybe doing things with the family that I wouldn't be doing, like going for walks. And so my daughter, I go now for runs with my daughter, and I think that's what's going to continue, when we all get back to work. Bit tricky because my wife actually works from home anyway, so she's kind of got a home office. So I've been up in the bedroom quite a lot, and the daughter's been in the other bedroom on YouTube and Netflix and things like that. So it's been interesting, it's been challenging, but all in all, I think it's been a fairly positive experience, really.
Yeah, good stuff. And you've got to watch plenty of sport, which is great. I know you're a big Sheffield United fan, so.
I am. So, I was, we've had a few chats about that, Stephen, being a Leeds fan as well. But after, you're quite right. I was going stir crazy without the football, and then it all comes thick and fast. And that's been great because we've been doing well with the last few weeks. So I'm delighted.
Yeah, very good, very good. Okay, great. Well, from a business point of view, I think it would be very beneficial for people listening today to kind of understand the pain points and the advantages of the last few months, and kind of just to go through your experience as a company. So, Matt, if I wanted to start with yourself and just chat about the productivity and morale during COVID-19 and I suppose how you guys achieved effective communication in that period.
Yeah, I suppose it's been fair to say that although we've invested heavily in technology over the years, remote working really wasn't an option for us. And we had a disaster recovery site up and running, but that's been no good for us because obviously everyone had to work from home. So we have about 105 people in the office, and I would say probably about 95% of those people are now working from home. Huge planning went into this, both from our senior management team and the IT, and they really did pull out all the stops. And so really, actually, from day one, we've not had any days, any downtime. Everyone wanted laptops, so some of the staff were using their own laptops. That's all got resolved now. We set up. I think we realised the most important thing that we can do is to make sure that we stay connected with our staff. So we set up. A lot of the teams have WhatsApp groups. We have various Zoom sessions. Mainly Microsoft Teams is what we found the most successful. In the early days, and still connection issues have been a problem. I think with everyone working from home, and obviously kids schooling from home, we were having frustrations. And I suppose everyone was trying to get the same. Everyone wants a meeting at 10 o'clock on a Monday morning. So yeah. We've had to adapt to when we're going to have meetings. Generally, 4 o'clock on a Friday afternoon is a great time because no one wants to meet. There's no connectivity issues. But so really, I suppose, just keeping in touch with our staff has just been really important to us. And we've kind of arranged a lot of kind of social events as well. So we've had virtual pub quizzes. We had a 5K virtual relay race. We normally go to the Phoenix Park for the staff relay every year, which was and that was really well attended. I think we had over 40 people do the race. A lot of people as well done some really good fundraising initiatives as well. In fact, Gerry, we had a Zoom session. Gerry had a sponsored head shave in the Gavin Glenn Foundation, and we had a great laugh. His sons and daughters shaved his head, so phenomenal amount of money, to be fair, for the Gavin Glenn Foundation. So so I think it's been quite positive, and I say that the most thing is just staying connected with the staff has been really, really important for us.
Very good, very good. And I suppose from your point of view, Gerry, what do you feel over the last couple of months? You know, what will change after COVID-19? Do you think remote working will become more common in the workplace?
I think it's the toothpaste that won't go back into the tube, whether people wanted it to or not. I think, as I said earlier, it's been a positive experience for me at a personal level. I think the business has worked quite well with it. It's not for everybody. It works for me at my stage of life. I know at different stages of my life, the idea of working from home, from my mum's kitchen table, would have been a nightmare scenario for me. So, but I think the concept of remote working will be here to stay. I don't think there's any doubt about that. And I think we can take the positives from it. There will absolutely be people who just want to be a part of the office, who want to be in the hub, who want to get into the city. We're lucky where the building is located. We're on the canal, good transport networks, and there's the social buzz of working alongside your colleagues. For other people, commuting, work-life balance is more important for them, the time that they can get back with, particularly if they have younger children and so on, to be there in the evenings for them instead of stuck on the M50 somewhere. That's going to work for them. And then there'll be blended options as well. Somebody may have a sports club commitment on 1 or 2 evenings a week, and they've been struggling to get home in time. And I think having the option to work from home on those days, but be in the office on other days, it's something I think, it's a good thing to be able to contemplate that. It's a good thing from a recruitment perspective. Certainly being a Dublin-based business, we've found over the years that there's a lot of talent we've been missing out on, by virtue of the fact that there's people who want to develop in their careers. They want to become professional insurance advisors, but they don't want to have to move from their home community, their families, their social life. And I think the whole development of remote working as a culture is going to enable them to develop their careers with companies like us, and it'll enable us to seek out more talent than has been available to us beforehand. So yeah, I think it's here to stay. I think it's going to work in different ways for different people, and the employers who are going to succeed most are the ones who are going to facilitate that as best they can.
Yeah, very good. Some excellent points there. Thanks for that, Gerry. And so, Matt, obviously after COVID-19, going back into the office, what's the kind of approach going to be like? Is everyone going to go back in at the same time, or is it a blended approach, or will people have the opportunity to work from home? Or
yeah, I think it will be a blended approach, and I think phase one to go back in the office will be towards the middle of August. At this stage, we're obviously getting everything ready with all the perspex screens, and I think they said everyone will be sick of the sight of yellow with all the COVID posters and things like that around the place. But I think a blended approach is going to be the way to go. So it may be, I know when we first go in, we're going to have a couple of teams. So one team will be working on a Monday and a Tuesday, another one maybe on a Thursday and a Friday. So I suppose from a hiring perspective, it will give us maybe a wider pool of professionals to look for. Maybe before we were kind of stuck to people looking in Dublin, or the need to relocate to Dublin with all that entails. So I think it's going to give us a much wider, a much wider pool of people that we can look to recruit.
Great stuff. And Gerry, is there anything you'd like to add on that piece yourself from your experience?
Yeah, no, I would see it exactly as Matt was saying. I think it's a great opportunity both for candidates and for Glennons. I think it's wonderful for somebody who lives outside the Dublin area, is involved in their community, close to their family, wants to stay where they are. They like where they live, but wants to develop a career. But they have opportunities that remote working will present to them, and obviously from our point of view, we have an opportunity to work with talented people like that as well. And I think that's something we look forward to developing further now as 2020 progresses and indeed beyond.
I suppose going back to yourself, Matt, how has COVID-19 affected the market? Do you think? Like, what have you noticed in the insurance market and in your experience in Glennons, I suppose?
Yeah, I mean, I suppose in the early days, and with everyone getting to grips with working from home and things like that, we actually found that our people were actually renewing the policies far earlier than we'd ever seen before. People were even contacting us before we'd even issued renewal invitations. I think people were panicking, thinking that maybe we were going to be closed, or they wouldn't. Insurance companies might be closed. They might not be able to insure the cars in an emergency and things like that. So our existing team, they were absolutely flat out. And but on the downside of that, the new business lines dried up. So people weren't shopping around. People, I think, were just saying, "I'll just stick with who I'm with, and just renewing the policies." The claims department, our claims department, were dead because there's no vehicles on the road. So, so what we had to do was kind of redeploy some of our resources from those areas into our existing team to give them a bit of a dig out. I think what we found when we're going through the phases as things have eased is really more of a back to normal. I think the new business lines are picking up again, so we're getting much more inquiries. There are claims coming through. People are back on the roads, maybe not quite as much as what they were, but you just look outside. I was only outside the other day. The roads are busy again, so the claims are coming through. We had a bit of fun when the insurers announced that they were going to be issuing refunds. I think people thought that there was going to be this huge windfall. People were going to start getting hundreds back, and it turns out that it was just maybe 30 or 40 euro that the insurers were refunding. So, but I think actually what we have seen is maybe a level of empathy, understanding from our clients as well, and which has been nice, because I say it has been challenging times. It's not been perfect, but. And I think maybe coming out of this, it's going to be something that we're going to see people being a bit more understanding of each other, and that there is someone behind there. You're just not talking to a computer screen. You're actually talking to a person with real feelings, and we're all going through this same thing together. So I think that's what we get out of it as well.
Yeah, good stuff. I was one of those lucky refunded Glennon's customers, I must say. So I suppose it helped. So I appreciate that.
Found it all in the one shop, Steve.
That's it, yeah, exactly. Going back to yourself, Gerry, I know we've obviously worked together for a long time over the years since I've been in insurance recruitment, and just from the listener's point of view, what have you found has worked well for building a culture within the team there in Glennon's?
Well, I think we've been very, very lucky, I suppose, in terms of we do have a strong identity within the organisation of who we are and how we represent ourselves. And I know each business is going to be slightly different. You'll have your own target client base, and you'll have your own, really, I suppose, set of beliefs and values about how to best service those customers and still grow your business. I think our culture has served us well throughout that, and in terms of the staff that we have at the moment as well, they were very committed to maintaining those standards and to really continuing, let's say, from their mother's kitchen tables or from a shared accommodation or locked up in the bedroom. They were still doing their level best, really, to make sure that they that we're still delivering that professional advice, making sure the customers are getting informed decisions and understanding the stresses of the customers. I think the challenge for us really will be moving forward, as I say, in a world with remote working, is how do we make sure that that cultural identity remains as strong while the workers may be, I suppose, more physically remote from one another. So the level of immersion is not going to be the same. But that's something that we're aware of, and it's something that we're actively working on in terms of our communications and social policies and how to onboard people and so on, making sure that they really understand that they're part of the Glennon's way of doing business. But so far so good. There will absolutely be challenges going forward. I've no doubt about that. But look, we're up for them. That's what we do.
Yeah, good point. Okay, great. And Matt, what's important for building a hiring model, that's right for the business there in Glennon's?
Yeah, I mean, really, it's the same criteria for us. And I know we've worked successfully over the years, Stephen, and you know kind of exactly the type of person we're looking for. It really, personality is key for us. We want them to be motivated. Yes, we want them to have some insurance qualifications, ideally an APA. They may have had 12 or 18 months in the industry. And just showing some kind of commitment to the careers. Because we really do, I suppose what's key to us is providing professional advice in a friendly manner. And we pride ourselves on our training program. As you know, we don't hire a trainer per se. Everyone in personal lines, from senior client service brokers up to senior management, get involved in the whole induction process. And we have, I suppose it's building a career as well is important to us. So we have, we have client service brokers, we have senior client service brokers, we have team leaders, we have managers, and so there's a structure in place that's if you get your head down and you're willing to learn, then there's certainly a career for you in Glennon's. And there's a couple of lovely examples actually. We have a couple of staff who came to us maybe 2 or 3 years ago, and just as normal client service brokers with APA qualifications, and we saw something in these people, and they went through the ranks and to team leaders, and now they're actually part of the management team. So I say that there is a career in Glennon's for people who really want to work at it. We're not prescribed scripts, so I think that's important for people as well, that people see it as a bit of a stepping stone. It allows people a bit more freedom to interact with our clients. So it's not in a robotic way. It's just really important to us that our clients get to speak to someone who deals with them in a professional, friendly manner in a way that they'll understand.
Very good. And from your point of view, Gerry, then I know Matt touched on the hiring process of maybe slightly qualified staff, but if there was someone that was watching this that was a graduate that wanted to get into insurance, what sort of advice and considerations would you give them?
I suppose first off, I'd say is get qualified as quickly as you can. Don't waste time. Get into it and decide this is the career for me, and get your qualifications. But go beyond the minimum. We see an awful lot of people within the industry will get to the APA level, which is prescribed by the central bank, and stop. But you haven't learned everything, and you haven't experienced everything. I would really encourage people to continue with their education. If you want to develop a career, the education is an important part of it. But with that said, education and professional development, it goes so far beyond textbooks, and I think you have to start off from the basis of, well, I don't know everything and I haven't experienced everything. If you don't have that, mentality, you're not going to be open to development. You're not going to be open to learning. And that would apply to people who've been in the industry for decades, by the way, Stephen, not just to people who are embarking on a career, you know, but ask questions, be inquisitive. You know, one of the things we would be most concerned about in somebody new joining the company is them not asking questions. Questions are there. It shows you're thinking about something, and learn from those answers. You know, use the opportunities that are presented to you to really acquire knowledge, and you'll go far. If you're working in insurance, if you're working in banking, if you're working in retail, it doesn't matter. You're going to experience problems. They're going to arise. They're a fact of life. I would say to somebody, seek them out. You know, embrace them. There's people who avoid problems all their lives, and there's people who solve them. And the people who solve them are the ones who go further in their careers. So if you want to develop, find the problems and be somebody who's prepared to come up with a solution, and that'll do you well.
Very good, great advice. And I suppose as well, like then Gerry, is making a decision on the right company for you as a job seeker. Like what would you look for if there's a grad or if there's someone that's experienced looking to change jobs? What do you think is important to look for in a company?
Well, again, I think there's a couple of things. The core values are important. You know that every business is different. If you have your own set of beliefs, you have your own personal core values. We all do as people. There are certain ways we expect to behave ourselves, and I would look at any employer and say, well, do their values match mine? You know, and if they don't, I think you need to be not afraid to consider moving. Your professional reputation, just like your personal one, it's yours to own, it's yours to protect, it's yours to nurture. And there's a certain responsibility that you need to take for yourself on that. It is to protect your professional reputation. It comes down to kind of the ethical things of, you know, at the end of your career, how do you want to be regarded by your customers and by your peers? What type of person do you want to be thought of as? And I think pick your employers according to that. You know, are you looking at a company that's going to support your educational development or not? And if they're not, it kind of begs the question, why not? You know, I mean, there's an old school of thought, and thankfully it's an old school of thought. You know, why would we train somebody? Sure, they'll just take the learning somewhere else. You know, and obviously, apart from the answer of, well, what if they stay? You know, it's a good employer would never be afraid of developing talent. You know, it's apart from obviously the benefits of having a more talented workforce looking after your clients, it's part of your professional legacy as well. You know, we've learned from some of the best people in the business ourselves, and I think we take a pride in passing on some of that as well. Hopefully people who come to work for us find it useful. But I think certainly decide what kind of professional it is you want to be, who do you want to be, and be fairly disciplined about following that, you know. Don't compromise. Yeah,
very good advice. Well, listen, I appreciate both your time today, both Gerry and Matt. I know you're both busy at the moment and you've lots going on. So I think it'd be very beneficial for the listeners today, from business owners, from insurance experts, right through to grads, to listen to your insights today, from your experience over the last few months, and just in general on advice for getting into the market or moving careers for your next career move. So I think that's going to be very beneficial for everyone today. Hopefully, I'm back in the office now, and I've just seen as well that Pickle is back open, Matt. So hopefully, when you guys are back in Glennon's, we'll be able to share a curry and have a chat in person soon, and not over an outro or video. And
look forward to that.
Yeah, it should be good. Hopefully, Leeds United will be promoted into the Premiership then, and Sheffield United might have secured Europe. So we could be two happy campers. No problem. Listen, appreciate your time today, guys, and we'll chat soon.
Thanks very much.
Cheers. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.